All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we have some confirmation about Terence Crawford out of his camp as it relates to Errol Spence Jr.'s camp and an attempt to punk Errol Spence Jr.'s trainer, Derrick James. Do not tell me that that was not what he was trying to do. Because a whole lot of people are doing cover-up talk now. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 147-pound division, where we have one of the biggest fights in the history of boxing coming up. Hope that doesn't sound like an exaggeration. Technically speaking, it's not, because one of means you can be top 1,000 and still be one of the top 1,000. However, in this case, I think it's safe to say that in our lifetimes, this is one of the big fights of our lifetime. Now, not saying that there aren't other fights that are bigger, but this century, there hasn't been a lot. Fair enough to say. In the 1990s, there weren't a lot. In the 1980s, there were not a lot that were bigger than this, where you have two fighters that are both considered by many to be the best fighters in the world, fighting each other relatively close to their prime. I don't know whether or not they're in their prime or not. Terence Crawford is 35, going on 36 years old. Errol is 32, so Errol seems to be kind of nestled right in there in the late prime. Terence Crawford is a little bit older than that. Does look like he slowed down a little bit, but it hasn't shown in a fight yet. So where it has affected him in a fight to the point where he loses it. So we don't know for certain yet. However, terrific fight for all of the belts. But before we get into that, I just want to tell you real fast about today's sponsor, the Boxing Showtime app. It's a very useful app that keeps you updated on all things boxing, and you can keep up with the latest fights, where to watch them, the latest news, and a lot more. For any hardcore boxing fan like myself, and most likely all of y'all, I would definitely recommend downloading it. And it also is most definitely a big support to the channel. It's available for both Apple and Android, and you can find the link in the description below. Thanks for considering downloading Boxing Showtime's app. But let's get back into the subject matter of the video. Now, there's something about Terence Crawford that many people have observed, and I have stated many times on this channel, which is that Terence Crawford is a bit of a bully. And Terence Crawford likes to try to intimidate people before they get in the boxing ring, while they're in the boxing ring, sticking his tongue out, jumping in the face of guys like Jose Benavidez, before a press conference for a fight that he's not in yet, talking about, hey man, talk about your fight before you don't get to your fight. Very, very aggressive with him. Also, he did it again. He did it to Jose Benavidez when Jose Benavidez was warming up and getting ready for a fight. Done it to several other people, right? Just the type of guy, a get in your face type guy when he feels irritated or he feels like he wants to punk you. So he had a run-in with Derrick James, Errol Spence Jr.'s trainer, where he said something to Derrick James, and he basically said, "What's up?" Derrick James looked at him and said, "What's up?" back to him. And I won't do the same thing that I did in the original video, where I give you the tones of the what's up and how that really can be seen as being very aggressive, right? And basically saying, hey, what do you want to do? You trying to fight? You trying to start that type of stuff. Now, if you're not familiar, Terence Crawford also has been known to do this throughout his career, even in the amateurs, where Sean Porter's father, Kenny Porter, talked about a run-in that he had with Terence Crawford when he was walking through an alley, and how Terence Crawford, the closer he got to Terence Crawford balled his fist up and was staring at and started looking at the coach, Kenny Porter, like he wanted to fight him, right? So basically tried the same thing with Derrick James, but Derrick James looked right back at him and was like, yeah, what's up? What's up? Now, people try to act as if that was not what happened, that Terence Crawford was really just saying, hey, how you doing? And Derrick James took it the wrong way, and Derrick James later apologized to him. Well, you can throw that out the window because Terence Crawford's camp, through Bernie the Boxer, who is in his camp, don't care what you think about him, Terence Crawford is in the same live streams as him on his YouTube channel. And I do believe in Terence Crawford's basement, right? So, or at least in the training in maybe not his house in Omaha, Nebraska, but in the basement of whatever house he's training in to get ready, living in while he's training to get ready for Errol Spence Jr. He's right there saying Terence Crawford had punked Derrick James. I'm telling you, man, that is what that man tried to do. And here's the thing, man. And I mean this, dude. I mean this about guys like Sonny Liston. I mean this about guys like George Foreman, Mike Tyson, people that are engaged in trying to intimidate you. When they try to intimidate you or try to intimidate somebody and they don't get anything back, then that is a loss for them. Because that's an edge that they're used to having. They're used to getting in and being around people that are afraid of them. And when somebody pushes back on them or somebody is their equal, you'll see what they do when they're in a situation where they're not just significantly better than the other person, or mentally they can't get that edge on them, right? And somebody like Derrick James, you're not going to get that on Derrick James. First of all, because Derrick James is a 6'2". I suppose he's around 190 pound dude who's a professional, who has a bunch of professional fights himself and is not shy about fighting somebody. That's not going to intimidate him. You telling him, what, a little guy, somebody half his size, saying, what's up? I mean, I'm not sure what he thought he was going to get out of that one. But also, Errol Spence Jr. himself is not the type of guy that is, first of all, he's not the type of guy that really tries to intimidate people, but he's also the type of guy that's not been intimidated by people or been intimidated by things. And this goes all the way back to the amateurs, when he fought in the amateurs, to where he went over to the UK and fought Kell Brook. You can also tell that in the exchanges that Errol and him have had in the press conferences. That type of stuff I don't think is going to really come into play. If Terence Crawford is going to win that fight, Terence Crawford's got to win that fight just straight up. He's just got to be a better fighter that night. He's got to do something to beat Errol Spence Jr. that is going to come from his hands. It's not going to come from his facial expressions. It's not going to come from any of that type of stuff, because Errol Spence Jr. is not somebody that is really going to be shaken like that. He's somebody that is not too high, not too low. Same thing, it seems, with Derrick James. Not too high, not too low. They also they're not into a lot of hyperbole. Well, let me take that back. They will talk their fair amount of stuff now. You know what I mean? Like, they will talk about, I'm going to break you, and I'm going to break your body, I'm going to break your mind, I'm going to break your will, I'm going to break your, if I got to, I'm going to break your spirit, those type of things. But for the most part, man, those guys are just workhorse type, blue collar type, lunch pail type guys that go about their work every day, man. But anyway, please do not tell me that was not an attempt to do exactly what everybody thought it was. It was an attempt to get in the head of Derrick James, right? And honestly, man, it didn't even bother Errol Spence, because Errol Spence Jr. Well, actually, Errol wasn't in that particular. I don't think he was in the room at that particular time. But when Derrick James walked up to him and shook hands with him, people do that all the time after you have a little bit of a confrontation, man, because Derrick James got aggressive with him too. And maybe Derrick James felt, hey, man, I didn't have to get aggressive back with you. But at the same time, don't act like that ain't what Terence Crawford was trying to do. But we'll see. But if it works, we'll see if it works. There is psychological warfare in sports and in life. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.